Let's go over the basic programming features of the LEGO Mindstorm software. First, we need to locate our software. For Mac users, you will need to go to Applications, and program should be already downloaded onto your computer if you are working with LEGO Mindstorm robots. You can double click on the folder called LEGO Mindstorm NXT, and there you will find the software. It's called Mindstorms NXT. It has an orange and white icon. Double click it, please. This does take several moments to download. As you can tell, it is loading now. There should be a little watch indicating that it's loading the software. Once it has loaded, which it almost is, you are here at your home screen. Let me just open this up wider so we can use all of our visible workspace. My screen might look slightly different, and that is because I don't have this Robot Center open. But now, once yours opens up, you should have this. The reason mine did not open up was because I previously closed it out, so it remembered that. But here you can click on the orange beam and you'll see Robot Center. This is connecting to my portal, and there are some other neat things you might want to find here, such as sounds, wallpapers, other things there. We can leave that open for a second. We'll close it in a minute. Here is where you will find software overview, some other quick little tutorials on how to get started, and here's also getting started guide. Let's go ahead and just say we're going to create a new program. We're going to call it Basic for now, just so we can get to our workspace area. Now we're in our workspace area. Let's just go over some other features. Here's where you will create a new program. If you click that, it opens up a new tab. You can save that. We're going to go back in our Basic tab. Next is the Open Program tab. If you've previously used the software and have a program saved, this is where you can access the program that you created. Here's where you would save your current program. You can cut and copy and paste programming from other programs that you've created, say as in Untitled 2. You can copy and paste the blocks you used and then go back into Basic and paste them there. Here's where you would undo something if you didn't like the block you moved onto the screen. You can undo it, or the redo button. Next, let's pay attention to our palettes. As you can see at the top, it's indicating that I am in the common palette. This palette shows the most used blocks in the software. If we go down to the bottom, this green symbol is showing us that we are in the common palette. If we click on the next symbol with the three squares, the green, orange, and yellow square, we click on it. This is taking us to our complete palette. Again, the title of the palette is up here. This is where you would find sub features in each one. So this is more of the complete list of programming blocks. The next one is the common palette, and here's where you can, it contains blocks that you download or create yourself. I like to use the common palette just because it's simpler to use. For students, the complete palette might get a little bit too confusing, although there are other features in here. It opens up more. The common palette is just the most used blocks, which is what you'll probably be using the most. Let's go ahead and look at the blocks in the common palette. So the first block is the move block. That's the most used block you will be using when programming your robot. This block controls the robot's motors and synchronizes its movements. You use this block to set your robot to go forwards or backwards in a straight line or to turn by following a curve. The record and play block. This block lets you record a physical movement with your robot and then play it back, the recorded movement, elsewhere in the program. The next block is a sound block. The display block. Now this you can display an image or write some text or draw a shape, and it will be displayed on your NXT robot. The wait block. Now this is where you will control the sensors of your robot. So here is where you can distinguish your robot to wait for a certain amount of time. But the next blocks, the next 5 are controlling the sensor. So the first wait sensor block is for touch. Now this is where you can program your robot to wait for a certain amount of time until it touches something. So let's say you want your robot to wait until it bumps another robot. This is where you would program that. This is to program your robot to sense certain light with the sensor. Here's where you would program it to react to a certain sound, and here's where you would have it wait until it reaches a certain distance or go a certain distance. The next one is the color sensor. The educational kits do not include the color sensor, so basically you will be using these 4, the touch, light, sound, and distance, or ultrasonic sensor. The next block is your loop block, and this is where you will control if you want your robot to do something over and over again once you program it on your workspace, and you will just loop it. So you can have it move forwards or backwards continuously. Let's say you use the touch sensor until the sensor is pressed. Next is the switch block. Let's draw our attention to the bottom of our workspace. This is where you will download your program to your robot. This is the mainly used button on here. This allows you again to download your program that you just programmed on your screen to your robot and run it on your robot. The other features are the stop, download and run selected, download and run, and this takes you to the NXT window, but this is the main button you need to focus on to download your program. In the next tutorial, we will see how our workspace will change once we move a selected block onto our screen.